Oh, hey, how's it going? Happy Friday. Thanks for starting your weekend off right with Nerdy by Nature. While you're listening, feel free to crack open a craft beer. Sit back, relax, have some fun. Did you hear about our website? LetUsGetNerdy.com. There's show notes, fun facts, links, visuals, everything you need from today's show so you too can enjoy the episode. In case you missed anything, it's all there. All of your senses will be happy again. While you're there, feel free to subscribe via the web, Android, or iOS, whichever your heart desires. Feel free to continue the conversation on social media. After the show, beginning, whatever, hashtag, have some fun. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Search us up. Let us get nerdy. It's that simple. All right, we stretched our thumbs, got our controllers and dice ready, got our beakers out. Let's get to it.
Yo, this is dirty.
Welcome to Nerdy by Nature. We're here with you again Friday night. It's a good time. Harv, you made it
I sure did.
with your X-Men shirt.
My X-Men shirt today.
Brought it back.
Sure
Dig it.
did. Yeah.
Looks good.
Thanks.
Yeah, Chris agrees. Is Kitty.
Nirvana.
Yep.
Nirvana
Cobain.
Kitty.
I love it. I love it so much.
I like the mouse is not the dollar bill. That's almost like the mouse is the money.
Mm-hmm.
That's, yeah. It's a great shirt. It's a fantastic shirt.
Trying to figure out some sort of meaning to that, but we'll just stick
No.
with rock and roll.
Yeah.
There you go.
Total.
It'd be nice if they did like a whole series of shirts where they did classic
Like
90s.
album covers?
Yeah, album
Yeah.
covers with kitties.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah,
fantastic.
that'd be sweet.
Oh, I know.
I
We
like
should sponsor that.
You're gonna work on this sponsor thing, Harv, since you're interning it all. Least you could do is something for us.
Sure.
Goodness.
Well, you know, I am working for free.
And we're working for free. So does that mean you have to pay us? That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Gotta work on that.
In bizarro worlds. Yeah,
Should have
sure.
done that contract properly, but what can you do? I'm Elijah. Hi, just in case you didn't know that. Hosting. We're talking about a beautiful thing called trash. Garbage.
Mm-mm-mm.
Smelly goodness.
Yeah, you could say that. And
Yeah.
for some cities like Manhattan and New York, it was goodness because that's what they were built on. Lots of trash.
Yeah, I know. I heard about that.
Is it kind of hard to believe that the garbage we take outside, put on the curb, is built on extending a city?
So wait, walk me through this because I'm not too familiar. So you're saying that they started up trash heaps and then they're like, you know what? We're gonna put a
They
city on
had
top
no
of this.
place to put the garbage.
Okay.
They just started throwing it on the shoreline before they know it. They've got themselves a piece of land jutting out.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
that's it.
Yeah.
And then like, you know what? Instead of being environmentally safe, let's just keep going.
Yeah. Now, it's fascinating, really, the square, the plot that is now the lower part of Manhattan that used to be the garbage heap that's like just city streets and parks and normal life as you know it today.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
80% of New York's garbage ended out to sea. It built that much of New York.
I wonder. I feel like the common New Yorker wouldn't know this. I feel like this isn't common knowledge.
I don't think it is. No. I mean,
No.
I was surprised to even know about this. Like a year ago or something.
Yeah, it hasn't
Yeah.
been that long. I've seen some documentaries. It's been pretty cool, but 14 million tons of garbage New York produces each year. Of course, they're going to have to do something with it.
Right.
Export to China. The
Yeah.
whole bit. It's kind of nuts how far it goes, but yeah, it goes.
And weren't we at one point I'm not sure if London or Toronto was making a deal with moving garbage back and forth.
I think that was Toronto.
Toronto, yeah.
Trying
Yeah.
to move to Detroit or Michigan, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
Right.
well, yeah.
To each their own, but yeah.
Just
Sure.
the landfill's just filled up.
Yeah, it's true.
No place to go.
When you go to New York, especially in Manhattan and surrounding area, it's not like there's room for landfills. Do you know what I mean? It's not
No.
like there's a place to.
I mean, there's not
Stuff.
even room for their infrastructure of picking up garbage and recycling.
So
Like,
true.
so
It's $1.25 billion New York's budget for garbage annually.
wow.
Ew.
London, Ontario, not that much. We have an 8-day cycle because we're too cheap to pay the garbage bill.
Oh yes, but that saved over $1 million.
Well, that's good, but it's super complicated and we need a calendar to track our garbage,
Oh,
which is
man.
ridiculous.
No, you don't. It's that simple. Just think, what was it last week? Oh, it's Wednesday. Therefore, it's Thursday this week.
And then what happens on a long weekend and a holiday? Your whole week's screwed up and you need a calendar.
You just add another day.
Times 4.
I don't know.
Too much math. I'm not a fan. I just like it easy. Every Thursday, put out your garbage, done.
I know that's how it used to be at some
But
point.
at $1 million savings, less taxes for me, fine.
And I think in different areas, Peel and Halton all have it on the one day.
In Toronto,
Yeah, I believe so.
I have an app that it tells me and emails me when the garbage gets out, so that's good enough.
Wow, there really is literally an app for everything.
Yes.
There is. Yeah.
Isn't? Yeah.
'Cause I forget, and then there's like 12 bags outside. My kid hates me because he's the one who gets to take it out, and I hate him because I have to pay him for it because he won't do it otherwise.
So really, because the garbage schedule is the destruction of the family. Is what you're
Right.
saying.
It destroys
Yeah, I
families
know.
across the city. It's terrible.
Oh, man. Well, the only way to save all that is really just by recycling.
One might say.
You could, sure. I mean, 6,000 to 7,000 miles is where this garbage gets exported from New York.
Wow.
Why would
Yeah.
you spend all this time going 7,000 miles to get rid of your trash? Can't you do something else with it?
Maybe
Can you
they
do
just
anything
they
with this
just
stuff?
don't have facilities. I mean, a lot of the time, like, are they selling raw goods, you think? So they're selling bags of garbage
Oh,
which
maybe.
contain what, metal?
It could be metal,
Plastic?
not food. I hope not.
Organic waste?
Sure.
Well, you could make
guess-
soil
like,
with organic
True,
waste.
or biofuel, I suppose.
Yeah.
You could do that. And if they're selling that off, then perhaps that's a good idea. And that's not bad if you're importing that for your economy. But it's a long way to travel. And all those folks that are, net zero fans of pollution,
Yeah.
it's a big waste to get rid of your waste.
Well, there's that. I think it's out in Sweden or somewhere over there, but they burn all of their garbage to produce electricity.
Wow.
All of it?
Yeah,
Is
Brilliant.
Doesn't
they actually. I was reading this one article. They burn all of their garbage and they still don't have enough, so they truck in other people's garbage
That's
to
the one.
continue
So,
their.
so they legitimately buy other people's garbage just for
Yeah.
their fuel source.
yes,
like from Manhattan?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So they need
But,
it.
but I feel please forgive me if I'm a little layman on this, but the turnaround time for recycling is still a long period. So we still have to have places to house that as well.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So I feel like landfill or recycling plant, you're still, 6 of one, half a dozen the other.
Yeah, I don't think
That's
you're
it.
really far ahead. And people have argued before that recycling adds more pollution with the trucks and the factories that you have to sort, and then all the extra pollution, electricity costs, and all that. Yada
Yeah,
yada.
but they sort the bags anyway. So all the stuff that goes to the garbage goes into a warehouse on a conveyor belt, and they sift through it.
Right.
And then there's more recyclables that are pulled out from it.
Yeah. So it's a whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Sweden-
a lot that goes into this.
There is. Sweden imports 800,000 tons because they're so good at getting rid of their garbage.
Man, oh man, that's fantastic.
And then Manhattan, not so much.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I guess that'd be part of the export process from New York to Sweden. It'd probably stop there on its way to China.
You'd
Or
be
India.
You'd be hard pressed to convince New Yorkers to want to burn garbage to fuel their city. I just don't think that's
No,
something
They
good.
I
feel
don't
that's a
think
waste
so.
of time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, forget about it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Forget about it. Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
As they eat their giant sandwiches and smoke their cigarettes. Okay, I'm done with that now.
Chris, to your point, this was done since the 1970s. Cultural shift happened, and this kind of what they realized. Probably, people with long hair and fun attitudes, tie-dye shirts. They got into the movement, Sweden,
Yeah.
had a good time, and there they were for 40 years now, 40, almost 50 years.
Yeah, like that's impressive.
And
That's
Manhattan's
amazing.
still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
We are in Canada. You got the green bins, I guess, here, which is for
Blue
some cities.
boxes, green bins. Yeah.
We don't have those here in our small city between
No.
Detroit and Toronto. Chris or Harv, the green bins,
Yeah.
put the composter for.
organics.
Yeah,
They
the
take them
organic
at
stuff.
the curb
Yeah.
over in the GTA.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah,
They have such a huge recycling program compared to ours here.
Hmm.
yeah, it's
Like we're
developed.
behind times. I think 2 years ago we finally said, "Oh, we can take the styrofoam off the back of the meats now."
Or
Like-
we can finally take Tim Hortons cups or fruit juice boxes.
Yeah,
And
Tetra
recycle.
Packs. Yeah, finally got accepted.
Aren't they
I've been
cardboard?
putting them in the box anyway because
Sure.
you know what? I'm trying to do my part as a consumer,
Mm-hmm.
and if they take it, they take it. If they don't, at least I did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. I live in a small 2-bedroom apartment, so I recycle where I can and then throw out the rest. know.
For a family of 5, myself, it'd be awesome to have a composter because kids don't eat everything on their plate, which frustrates the living daylights out of me. But I mean, putting it all in the garbage.
So what's the process to get a compost? Or we just don't do that system here.
Well, I have a composter in the backyard.
And that's
I-
your own personal one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah, definitely. And I can tell you that with trying to save the food scraps from the garbage and to put them in the backyard, I've dropped it basically to, like, I would say literally one bag, from 2
Wow.
bags to 1 bag a week.
My
the problem
goodness.
is if you live in a small apartment, it'd be
Yeah,
pretty
you can't
brutal
do
to
that.
put that
That would
on
be
here.
impossible, yeah.
Even for me in a condo townhouse, you put it in, like, it's so close, all the animals and stuff get to everything.
It's true, yeah.
Annoy the neighbors.
We got like such a skunk problem as it is. Last
Yeah.
thing we need to do is track more of them. So, but yeah, that's a good idea. And I think if you are, I assume you guys have a detached house.
Yeah.
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 Then yeah, that's something that you should definitely look into. I think composting is a great idea, especially if you're maintaining your own property. It's just something that's going to go back. Into
Oh
the
yeah,
ground
for
anyway,
sure.
right?
I mean, we can always use the soil every year. I mean, it does take, I think, about 2 years or so for it to actually come to some decent, dark organic soil. But you have to turn the soil every so often. And what I do is I dig up other parts of the lawn and I pull out worms and I stick them in there just to kind of help things.
Sure, might as
'Cause
well.
they kind of help in whatever they're doing in the,
Supposed to.
in the bin.
Put some eggshells, worms.
Yeah.
Should be good.
Yeah.
Hope for the best.
Brings a new meaning to the term "digging in the dirt."
It
Only
does.
You
Yeah.
don't have to. The worm does it for you. Oh my.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other cities like Sweden, Buenos Aires, have garbage pickers. They've been buried in trash for so many years. 2005, they started a zero waste policy. Get there by 2020. See if they can just ban landfilling recyclable and compostable waste. So just garbage. None of the
I
good
don't
stuff
know.
that can be reused. Do you
That's a
think?
tall order, though, eh? By
Yeah,
2020.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be mostly private companies that go do this. So, I
Yeah.
mean, if private companies can make a buck, they'll want to accelerate this too.
It's true.
But they only have 3 years left.
Well, it's just hard advertising and making sure they hit as many neighborhoods as they can, right?
Yeah.
That's really what that comes down to.
But if you have waste pickers every night making a buck off of this, if you pay them, I don't know, whatever the wage may be for garbage pickers, perhaps that's the answer to the problem.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too. I'm sure we all are aware of the many garbage pickers we have that are independent here in London.
That's
Yeah,
true. Yeah.
sure.
It gives you an idea of how little we are recycling since they're able to pick up so much.
Or people in the boxes and the bags, they dump all their LCBO or beer
Yep.
store, run by the province here.
Yep.
Any cans are recyclable, get some change for it. They're picking through them, getting
Absolutely.
the cash.
Absolutely. You see them all throughout the hours of the night, hire these people, have them make a few bucks.
For them, even pickup trucks and trailers running around, especially in my area with a bunch of townhouses, it's
Well,
it's lucrative.
They're sifting
sure.
out the aluminum cans too.
That too, yeah. So
bet.
if you're making
But
5-10 cents a can,
You
imagine
need
what
a
they
lot.
imagine
of
what they do
cans.
for double that or triple that. 30 cents a can. This city be cleaned up in no time.
It's literally a full-time job.
Yeah.
do
It
that,
could be.
to
And for these
to be garbage
garbage pickers, I'm sure that's an honest living for them.
Yeah, but yeah, I've seen them driving around like guys with trailers, and they're taking like large objects like fridges and.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, are they going down to the scrap metal place, or are they actually going to fix them and put them back out again?
I guess it depends on the person, the ambition. My guess would be most would take it to the scrap yard, see how much they get per pound on the recycled materials, and then cash in their money and then
Yeah.
do it all over again. Some people might be ambitious enough to have the spare parts, fix them up, and sell them, but that's a whole lot of effort.
Yeah,
I don't know if a lot of pickers are willing to do that or have the talent to do that.
You'd have to pick stuff that's inside your wheelhouse too, right? You wouldn't be, if you're an electronics guy, you wouldn't be picking car parts or
No.
machinery, right? So
Right, you'd have to be fairly picky and then put an ad on the classifieds, perhaps Craigslist because it's not creepy at all, and then solicit free pickups.
I feel
People do actually do that.
do that all the time. Yeah, I feel like because in my memory there wasn't a whole lot of this going on. Say, I don't know, 7 to 8 years ago, maybe a little longer. But it seems like it's picked up
Yes, that's
Yeah.
true.
tremendously,
There's
and
a
I think
lot more.
I think it's due to those junk shows that
And the
we've
economy's kind of sucked, and people
Yeah.
are realizing because of those shows that it's possible. This is fun to do.
seen. It's true. Fun's a loose word.
Some people enjoy it, but
Sure.
back to Buenos Aires, 5,000 pickers at night are competing with each other, and this way they can have better means to negotiate with recycling companies, and they have cleaner work conditions, and,
Yeah.
and all that is important, especially with countries that don't have such strict labor laws. So if they can kind of improve their lifestyle and work conditions, then why not pick a little garbage and make a buck and feed your family? All for it.
It's a good idea. You know, it reminds. I can see the new reality show now. Tonight in Buenos Aires, garbage wars.
Yes. Well, it's like the world's craziest drivers.
Yeah, same.
Or the worst drivers.
Worst drivers, right?
Or you
Yeah.
go to the worst cities with the drivers. Like
Just imagine the competition level, especially if there's like a giant piece and you both had hard nights.
what about those people that do the auctions? That's what I kind of picture more so.
Yeah, be kind of like that.
Where you're
yeah.
bidding the storage lockers.
Storage wars, yeah, yeah. That's pretty
Only
fun.
with aluminum cans.
Right.
No problem.
I got $15 for that bag of garbage you got right there.
I'm sure there's going to be some fist fights.
For sure.
It may be kind of typical. You might not be surprised, but Italy comes up with an incineration plant in 1997. Of course.
Sorry, say who did?
Italy.
Oh, Italy. Well, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Not that they have much of a choice, really.
Well, the idea of burning garbage has been around for a while.
Sure.
And then there's even ideas of trucking garbage out into space and just dumping
Yeah.
it there.
I mean, burning
Yeah.
garbage reduces for Italy by 40%. So imagine if you could truck it into space and then do what with it? Just chuck
Just
it out to
there.
Pluto?
No, I don't
Planet
know. It
X,
just flies around.
Make a new planet on garbage?
That seems
Wasteful?
slightly ignorant. Do you know what I mean? Like, because we
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
We shouldn't do that.
Yeah, we don't.
Don't we have enough problems with asteroids and stuff?
This reminds me of when we thought it was a good idea to dump oil in the ocean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know what effects would happen by doing that.
But a certain company with 2 letters thought this was an accident. That's what they called it in the news.
that's
And then
true,
eventually
yes.
they kind of sort of got away with it because nobody remembered or cared.
Right, 'cause
CNN didn't
news moves on.
murdered them anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, allegedly murdered them on air.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Good call.
Trolls. Whatever.
I don't know. I mean, that either way, it's a band-aid approach to burn garbage.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
yeah, if
agree.
you're in a quick jam,
but
but do it.
Well, sure. And I mean, small little pieces, fine. However, if you're talking about landfill-sized holes and you're trying to burn that, well, you're doing some horrible damage to our environment.
Oh yeah.
And but I do like the idea of using it as a fuel source. However they do that, I'd love to see that process.
If they can pick out the right garbage that isn't going to produce that kind of emissions.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
if you could do a better job as a city of profiting from the garbage removal, from the recycling, and selling that to other countries, then
Yeah.
all the better. And maybe that would be a net zero effect to be able to pay for itself.
Yeah, you mentioned net zero a lot. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? On a net zero city?
You make as
As little garbage as possible.
right. So what I'm doing is I'm recycling as much garbage as I put out. So that's how it becomes a net zero.
But it's more of a thinking, like a lifestyle change than anything. Like for instance, if you go to the store and you buy a bunch of food items, they put them in bags.
Right.
Okay. So now you're gonna have to think ahead and not bring bags. You bring reusable bags.
Right.
And I'm talking right down even to like picking out tomatoes and apples and oranges, is all of that gets put into a reusable bag. So you're not bringing home any plastic. You're buying your lettuce and all that fresh and not in a bag and not in a plastic container,
Okay.
right?
All right.
And that's the thing. Like,
Because it's not really true zero. It's doing something to. It's like it's not the same as paying carbon tax to get rid of the pollution. It's doing something to remove the garbage as much as you're putting.
yeah.
Taking in.
Like,
So-
I know the onus is somehow put on us as consumers to try and reduce garbage, but maybe the issue is with the businesses or the companies that have packaging. Like, you ever see how much packaging you go and buy a TV?
Oh, it's the worst.
Like unbelievable.
Get a-
Cardboard up to yang yang and
It's the-
styrofoam and bags and this and that. Like, I'm sorry, but
styrofoam.
how is that my fault? Right?
Agreed. Yeah. No, I'm with
or,
you on that.
or with the toys we talked about before and the collectibles, you have a whole lot of plastic shell, then you have plastic inside, then you have some ties, and you have whatever else that you can't just recycle
The
easily.
blister packs. That's what they're called.
Right, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they give you blisters on your fingers.
They sure do. And then if you can manage to get inside one, trying to get out of it without cutting yourself is a miracle.
Right.
Like they're yeah, you're right. There's too much packaging going on.
Yeah. So the issue is packaging for
Yeah.
sure.
That's a big
I've seen
piece.
some cereal makers kind of reduce their boxes, still have the same amount, but there's still a lot in there. I don't know how you can reduce a lot of garbage to keep stuff fresh because you're transporting stuff all over the place.
Because we preserve everything.
Right?
Yeah.
Is it going baback to local? Is that
Well,
the
it's-
answer to get rid of the garbage?
That's a good start. You know.
That won't solve the problem.
Well, no. And the thing is, we now are a society of consumers, and with the advent of internet shopping, a la Amazon and all that stuff, people are going to be ordering things
Yeah,
internationally
there's
from now
no
on.
stopping.
Or the
And then-
plastic in the robots that deliver the food, as you posted on
Oh
Facebook,
yes,
Chris.
yeah.
That was a beautiful thing. But all the stuff around that in the garbage that's going to be used, the battery and the wheels and the plastic to get it there, and when it's done its life cycle, it just get tossed. Matter of speaking.
Well, I you know, some companies like Amazon, I think, are relatively environmentally conscious, or at least
I don't know.
they,
I've seen some
They say they are.
they say they are. Well, let's say that.
the
So
boxes that come to the door,
I-
one
I-
item with a whole bunch
Yeah.
of plastic air.
You have a
Stuff,
giant
yeah.
box, you have plastic
Agreed.
air, and you have a
Yeah.
little USB drive.
agree.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm not disagreeing with you, but let's say they are quote unquote
That's,
Okay,
those
all
are some
right.
beautiful
Right.
air quotes.
Right.
Thank you.
that they are environmentally friendly. I would hope that using drones and such is a great idea. And then when they are done, they have outlived their usefulness. They would recycle those into other products
Hopefully.
they sell. Hopefully, whether that's what they do or not, who knows? Right?
Or, I'm
Okay,
Not going to
okay.
mention, but the company that buy the K-cup things. The,
Oh, yeah,
the little
yeah.
pods. Every part of their whatever the coffee dispensers that you put in the machine, little
Yeah.
pods, is recyclable or
Oh, that's
compostable.
Oh,
so
cool.
even the plastic ring is made out of something, and then it goes all the way down to the filter at the bottom.
I know, but look at how much recycling that would have to take to do, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I
Right.
mean, they took out a whole 12-foot section at the grocery store to put those stupid K-cups in there instead of just the ground coffee,
Yeah.
right?
Well, they squished the boxes in half
Oh,
to put in more coffee.
I still question if that's even good coffee, but regardless,
Well,
that's
if you
a
want
whole
to talk
other-
about a different sort of pollution, you go through half a liter of water for like 2 cups. It's pretty bad on the environment. It's probably no better for the commercial units.
no,
They're-
it does. I mean, it's a convenience factor. That's all it is. And so it's such a huge popularity thing with this K-cup that there were reports done on this saying with all this plastic now going out and then the energy to recycle it all.
right. Or you
It's
see
huge.
some of the cups are literally all plastic. They don't put any effort into
Yeah.
compostable material. So at least I'd like some sort of happy medium to have something that biodegrades.
I would like that too. Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's out there, but not very common. The rest is just cheap and plasticky because they want to make a buck.
And the irony of the fact that, what do they say? The average K cup costs you about what? $1?
something like that. Yes.
So really, how much money are you
Six-
saving?
55
versus-
cents.
Yeah,
It-
exactly.
it's not. I mean, I can get like a pound of coffee for maybe $10.
exactly.
And it makes a hell of a lot more cups
Sure.
than, you know.
Even a small coffee, which generally those create that you would buy from some Tim Hortons or anywhere other than Starbucks, costs you only about $1.
Yeah.
So maybe I can just get the filters then, put it in the machine, then get my pound of coffee, and Chris will be happy.
I do pour overs myself, and the coffee grains in the filter go out in the back.
Nice.
So
Compost it, done.
compost it done.
Those-
I-
have you heard of a pour over? Art?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Okay, so you're old like us. That's good.
Well, I used to do French press all the time.
Oh,
Oh
nice.
yeah,
Okay.
That's my
that's
favorite.
good coffee.
Yeah.
Sure is.
We
Yeah.
need to do an episode on coffee.
I
on
am
our
down
series.
for that.
Yeah,
We'll we can
yeah,
be up all
totally.
night doing that.
Friends at Fire Roasted also sell beer, so I need to give them a free plug because they sell beer and coffee and put Baileys in it.
Hallelujah.
That's
They-
amazing.
They've done wonders for me, and
That's
I have
amazing.
to. I owe them.
They make some fantastic coffee.
They do, yeah.
Maybe my favorite coffee brewers in the city.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
If
sure.
you come to
yeah.
London, by the Bud Gardens, I don't want to call it that. I'm sorry.
not that.
It's there.
Yeah. Near our big
Arena.
arena in the
Where
middle of our city.
Monster trucks in concert.
WWF last
yeah.
last I heard anyway.
E.
For
Now
sure.
you can't
Yeah.
call it.
Can't do
it's
that.
World Wildlife Foundation, which is the birds and the bees and stuff.
Mr. McMahon might sue us. Don't do that.
Yeah, WWE. It is the man with the belt and the long
Whatever.
um,
I'm old school.
hair.
That's right.
whatever.
Yeah. Well,
You be what all you want. How many garbage bags you put out for a family of 2, Chris?
Typically 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Any recycling bags?
Recycling boxes, usually 1 full one, depending on the week, and definitely like a bag of newspapers and whatever else that comes to the house.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Harv?
are we talking a week?
Yeah.
I would say we probably throw out 2 bags of garbage a week ish.
Oh.
And then we have like a little recycling box, and we probably recycle, I don't know, 7 or 8 of those a week,
Okay.
give or take.
All right.
So
So,
yeah.
Wow. That's a bit compared to Mr. Thrifty over here.
Well, we have a menagerie of people coming through our home all the time.
I'm
so
also
this-
saving bags from the garbage.
It's not like you have a crack house or something. How many
No,
people
no,
come to
just,
your house? Holy smokes.
popular house, big family. You know it is.
If you say so.
Sure.
Italians, go team. They're big families.
They are. My wife is Dutch, and she has
All the same
5
thing.
sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the
Big
same thing.
families, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Mentality,
there's always-
family, cooking.
there's always
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
over doing their thing, and yeah,
I put out
lot of
anywhere from
waste.
2 to 4 bags garbage. Family 5.
Wow.
Double that in recycling bags.
Right on.
Sorry. Chris is looking at me like I'm never going to live again.
It's okay.
You're making me cry here.
He can Miyagi us into doing better.
So we're talking about Manhattan, trying to be Sweden. What sort of tips does the frugal garbage lover have, Chris, that can help you dump some garbage back into recycling bags or composting or what have you?
Well, compost for one, that'll definitely cut down 1 bag for sure.
Easily.
Yeah, and plastic bags at the grocery store. Just watch what you're taking home in terms of like prepared foods that are in plastic containers and things in plastic bags.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
That works. I guess it's just a different mindset and actually put some effort in.
Yeah, just be aware,
Right.
you know. And if everybody kind of thought that way, just even in small increments like this, like we could make a change. I don't know if it being net zero, you know, exactly, but you're going to notice a lot less garbage.
2.3 billion 2012 spent on waste in New York. It's a lot of cash. If
makes
everybody thought of a little bit of composting, maybe
Yeah.
they do some, but I don't think they do a lot. You know, big apples, little bites, who knows? It could be something, but I think if maybe private companies came in more so, make a buck, I think there'd be more interest in the city just spending, wasting tax
Well,
money.
the city has to take the initiative, and that would be maybe in the form of issuing a composter to every household, you know,
or subsidiaries.
yeah.
Or at least pay for half of it.
or pay
something.
for half. I mean, they give us a recycling box every few years. You know,
Sure.
that's how I ended up with 2. But
It's not as expensive, I don't think, as trucking around those vehicles.
Well, have you guys ever been to New York?
no,
Okay. Well, just structurally, like you were saying earlier, I could see it being difficult for the average resident to get behind recycling because there's at least for Manhattan and surrounding area, it's because it's not built within their infrastructure. So
Yeah.
you're right. It has to come from the city to be able to say, okay, this is the new initiative that we're implementing.
yeah, like even if they don't have a spot in the backyard, if they could just make part of their park, maybe take some, composting
And I think they're leading with community like farms and
gardens and stuff. Yeah,
Do that in
exactly.
Toronto
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
I've seen even some in our town, London.
Yep.
They've
Seen a
had
couple.
some community gardens and things like that to get behind it. And Toronto had some recycling, garbage and composting centers right in the park. And they seem to be more community focused, which is nice. Just down the street, go dump your compost, have fun.
I think that's the wisest way to go in terms of composting because that way you can bring everybody together, right?
Yeah,
And it's not so
exactly, yeah.
expensive. Then you have one composting center per street
Right.
instead of one per house.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
doable.
Everyone wins. Just imagine bringing all that food. You don't have to spend it at the grocery store. Damn, son.
Yeah.
What?
I'm saying if everybody was relying on the community garden, so they're buying, they're getting their vegetables there. Plus, they're bringing the compost to feed it. Now they're not spending so much at the grocery store buying their food.
I was stuck on the garbage and composting station wondering why you're going to get food from there that's nutritious. I was worried about you.
I got you.
Yeah, but
The
they kind of
intern.
go hand in hand, though.
True.
You know.
I guess so. Sure.
Sure. Okay.
Go with that.
I will. I'll go with that, and I'll go on a Friday. I'm going to drink my aluminum can full of beer, and then Chris is going to complain that I don't recycle enough. How's that for you? That's pretty good. Chris.
I'm not complaining. It's probably worth about 20, 30 cents.
Oh,
Why are they only giving us 10?
somebody's got to make some cash, sir.
Yeah.
Someday. I'll see you soon.
All
Ta-ta.
right. See ya.
Well, like all good things, they must come to an end, my friends. Another show is in the books, and we had so much fun starting the weekend off right, just with you. Nerdy by Nature here with you, discovering the world around us, learning new things, and having a great conversation. Couldn't get to everything, though, in this episode, so please head over to letusgetnerdy.com, check out the show notes, the research, and all the extras. Just couldn't fit in today. While you're there, feel free to subscribe, Android or iOS. It's all good. If you want to say hi, leave a comment below the notes or click on Contact Us, whichever your heart desires. If you want to get crazy and social and right into it with us, please do. Head over to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, search up Let Us Get Nerdy, won't you? Hashtag, @mention us, say some cool stuff, or call us out. For Nerdy by Nature, thank you so much for listening. Take care.
Yo, this is dirty.